Welcome back to Pros and Cons. This is akaBoG here.
Yep.
I've got the Captain 1701 with me. We just did a daytime episode of Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
Which is a little different experience.
I don't know if it was much better.
Maybe it wasn't as painful.
Maybe watching this under the cover of darkness, because I don't know if anyone else is, but...
Yeah.
Although I am coming from the bridge of the Defiant this week, because we're going to fucking ram through this episode.
I like it.
In the words of Worf, we're going to ramming speed.
Ramming speed it, yeah.
Wow.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as episode 7.
That's not saying a lot.
Episode 7, I think, is the worst of the series so far.
It's probably the
episode 10 is going to be great because it's the last one.
I called episode 7 the worst episode of Star Trek of all time.
I think it is. So this is like the third worst episode of Star Trek of all time. Hide and Seek. We get to see more about Picard's previously unknown childhood trauma.
Yep.
We get to watch Star Trek make a mockery of mental illness.
Yep. Mockery of the Borg.
Yeah.
Mockery of the entire Star Trek timeline.
Yeah.
Mockery of
good
everything
writing
we love as fans, and plot device.
Yeah.
So,
where do we want to start? Just kind of go through the episodes we remember it, maybe? I don't know. I didn't take any notes. I did get notes at the beginning, but I
did too, and then I gave up because I'm like, I'm not going to waste any more mental energy on trying to remember insanity.
It's just everything, we stopped this episode 3 or 4 times to rant and yell and rave about different things. And
let's talk about our main kind of rant that we stopped for. And it was when 7 of 9 is talking to Raffi during their shootout in the Picard Chateau with the Borg.
Shootout / stab out.
Mercenaries? Yeah.
They got pretty stabby, that episode with them.
And so we're watching, and I'm like, wait, 7 mentioned Voyager. Let's stop and go back.
Yeah. Oh, Voyager. Whoa.
And so I'm like, wait, I got to see where this goes. So apparently, 7 of 9, when she got back...
Starfleet. She tried to join Starfleet, but they denied her. She tried to join
Starfleet, and they denied her.
Because she was Borg or something.
And she even mentioned specifically that Janeway really fought the good fight for her.
Janeway threatened to
retire.
Yeah.
And then, so
apparently she didn't retire.
And then when it didn't go through, Janeway was like, I guess I'll
tried.
I guess I'll become an admiral now.
I'll take the promotion.
So, let me get this straight. So, we'll take in Starfleet during Deep Space Nine run, which was before Voyager got home, when Nog entered Starfleet as the first Ferengi. And I believe the Ferengi were considered just the scum of the earth in the Federation, right? Wouldn't you consider that?
Many of them did, yeah.
Because they're evil capitalists and they like Latinum and gaming and, Anyway, so they're not equipped for Starfleet because they're not high and mighty. And they don't smell each other's farts. But, let alone, Sisko...
Went to bat
for Nog. Nog got into Starfleet, and
it worked out good.
Tore it up. Nog became
They did name the USS Nog after him in the 25th century or whatever.
He became like a decorated Starfleet officer.
Yeah.
And a huge asset to the DS9 crew during the Dominion War.
I'd agree with that.
But 7 of 9 comes back, and they're like, no, we can't have you, who's been like rehabbed from the Borg for 5 years at this point.
Never mind, we've seen the future timeline where Janeway did come back and then went back to get him back earlier. I guess 7 didn't survive that one, huh?
Yeah.
But I feel like we've definitely seen 7 in the future in some capacity. I don't know. But
I don't understand why Starfleet in this show would deny
because they're xenophobic.
7 of 9 the chance to become a Starfleet officer when they've brought in the first of each culture every single time we've seen it.
We saw this episode with the first Romulan, who is a distrusted species.
Right, exactly. We've seen Data, the first android. Elnor, the first full-blooded Romulan. We've seen...
Worf.
Worf, the first Klingon, who was like more of an enemy to Starfleet than the Borg were at the time. But no, we can't have 7 of 9 because she's like half Borg.
She's not even Borg. They de-Borgified her.
Right.
They let.
Well, Borgified is a technical Star Trek term now, too, by the way, so we can use it.
And I believe I pointed out to you that they removed all of Picard's Borg implants and let him rejoin.
Yeah, he's the captain of this flagship of the Federation.
They said, well, he was already captain, so that's why he could come back in.
Oh my god!
And I think my point to you wasn't 7 a listed officer, like not a full-fledged Starfleet, but basically enrolled, like the Maquis.
Basically, what Janeway did with the Maquis was like an emergency commissioning of officers.
It's a commissioned officer and an enlisted officer or something like that.
Because out of necessity. And 7 of 9, if you watch in the last 3-4 seasons of Voyager, is a completely necessary character to that show.
Yeah.
I mean, she saves him on so many occasions. So I'm just confused because when Data is third in command of the Enterprise, there are 5 or 6 occasions I could think of
he's taking
where
over
he takes over the ship with little resistance.
They still let him remain in Starfleet.
Like, come on.
So that's all dumb, right? I want to go and I want to talk about the violation of her character that is reassimilating her.
Right. I'll let you take that one.
Alright, so first of all, it starts off with the whole situation where they get the drop on the evil queen, and Elnor, with his motion, should just like ram her through with the sword and pin her to the deck.
Not only do Raffi and Seven have the drop on her,
but he is the motioner. He has to stop and pull back.
He's like ready to kill.
Yeah. So never mind. They let her get the flip. Yeah, the emergency combat hologram that was built off of. We can make a hologram off anybody who served on this ship
with all the cognitive and
then he tells Raffi, he's like, I know from watching Elnor's last breath that he loved you.
So fucking stupid.
Elnor, like, all right, is that a romantic love of Raffi, or is that like a companionly love? How does Elnor love Raffi? And we get Raffi's whole crybaby thing about how she didn't want to be alone, and how we get Girardi's whole the Borg Queen doesn't want to be alone. Like, dude, I think these writers have some serious issues with like establishing real relationships in their lives, because apparently they're all like, I don't know, disassociated, lonely losers.
Well, the thing with the Raffi and Elnor relationship, it was all built off screen.
We never saw any of it.
No.
The only thing they've ever shown us is them trying to convince us that they had a relationship.
And they had that bullshit flashback last week where they're like, oh, I just like manipulated Raffi into doing what I want, or manipulated Elnor into doing what I wanted to do. I'm just a manipulator.
Yeah, you're a horrible person. We know that.
So Elnor can't follow his own destiny. Like, he has to go to Starfleet because
he loves her. Apparently,
yeah,
loves. Not he didn't blame her. No, he loves her. Raffi,
which is ridiculous. Do you think Nog loves Benjamin Sisko for pushing him into Starfleet? I don't think so. Now, Nog grew up with the Siskos in their family, basically, because he was friends with Jim.
You could totally love them, but why does Raffi...
Like, why is that a point?
And I'm fine with the idea of even the concept of Raffi and Elnor loving each other, but what kind of love is it? Because that was almost like a romantic declaration.
I don't think it was romantic because...
Then what kind of love is it? Is it a friendly love?
It's like a familial love. Because Raffi...
I don't like it.
Because Raffi still has like a freaking burning flame for 7 of 9.
Right.
She wouldn't let Elnor step.
Dude, alright, so anyways, I got off on this rant. You were going to let me talk about...
Sorry, go ahead.
Raffi being assimilate, or having 7 assimilate. Yeah. So they get the drop and they say, we're going to kill you, queen. Yeah, we're going to take you out. And then, like, she goes, oh yeah, whoop, 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 with her Doctor Who tentacles, right?
Yes.
Those aren't Borg things. That's not anything that has anything to do with the Borg. That's literally a bad Doctor Who effect, okay? And then, so she flips the tables on him. And the whole time we're watching this, I'm like, dude, they're going to reassimilate her, dude. This is like a complete violation of her character. Like, up to this point, the last thing she would want is to be reassimilated.
Exactly.
She would much rather die
That's been 7 of 9's point the entire season.
Thing, you know. So then she gets reassimilated and she has all her stupid implants back now. But what, is she connected to the Borg Queen? She's not acting as if she's being controlled now.
No.
So is it this new collective where we're like a friendly collective?
It's a fucking kumbaya circle.
So can she hear the Borg in her head? Or does she just have metal implants on?
From my perspective, I thought 7 of 9 could always kind of hear the collective at a certain...
Same with Picard, you know, like after, but that's a whole...
They reference it all the time.
Dude, like, so what are they going to do? Are they going to take her back and remove her Borg implants again, so no loss? Or are they going to come up with, they can't de-assimilate her now? So what, did she leave with the Borg? No, she stayed on the planet now, half assimilated again,
when they came to the Confederate universe, she was not Borgified, which is a technical term.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use it now because it's canon, right?
And we talked about this too. This broke my brain about the stupid fucking Confederate verse again. We were talking about it, and it was like, why aren't they duplicates in the Confederate verse? Like, and I was asking, did Q make it happen? Because I could accept Q shifting their consciousness into their
Confederate selves?
This doesn't make any sense. So this is just bringing up more anger and upsetness over the original episodes, and it keeps bringing up the same marks over and over again. I feel like we're going in circles, but they're going in circles, dude. We literally have seen the same Picard nonsense all season. Like, we get it. His mom was depressed. We get it. And we were sitting here watching the episode, and then they had the shot where he found her hanging the first time, and it was like, we were like, dude, did she really do it? Did she really do it? And then they leave you hanging again, and of course at the end you see it. And
hanging, no pun intended. Sorry,
dude. They are doing everything they can to destroy the character of Picard. We talked about where's Robert? Where's Robert? This whole episode, kids hang out with their siblings. They don't just hang out by themselves with their mom. So was she ignoring Robert? Was he off at school or something? I need to understand that.
I don't think he was that much older than Picard.
I'm feeling like he should be 12. He should have been there.
So my thing is, too, they make the child Jean-Luc, he's what, 10 or 12, you would say?
Yeah.
They make him have the mentality of like a 5-year-old.
They obviously don't have any 10-year-old kids at home.
And this kind of goes back because Star Trek...
They wrote him like he was like 5 or 6 or 7 or something.
Oh, Mama. I'm gonna like play with my mom, like hide and seek all day, and like draw on the glass, and like we'll just like talk about constellations.
My daughter is so mean because he tried to keep Mama alive, and I let her out of her room, and she killed herself, and now it's my fault.
Yeah.
And then they didn't get into anything about what Picard's father's feelings about Picard letting his mom out to die was.
They
made him like a villain, an evil guy, like he was abusive.
Early on.
He was just trying to keep his depressed wife from harming herself or his child. So the entire buildup of him as this monster is atrocious.
Especially since he's
we don't get to see the actual follow-up or payoff from the actual events. And they missed the most obvious thing. This could have been a good explanation or tie-in of why Robert hates Picard. You know, I don't know. I guess he hated space travel more, and they were more cantankerous.
But still,
dude, the fact that they didn't have Robert in this seems like a gigantic miss.
And I think
for me,
I think if you are,
it doesn't seem legit.
If you're Robert, and you're the son of the mother who has killed herself.
We should probably be saying
why wouldn't you have a part in that?
Self-deleted. We should probably, for the YouTube algorithms, we should say she's self-deleted.
But still, like, so, and it is bullshit though that they have completely turned the father into a villain character. I'm not even saying...
I even like the guy they cast, and I liked his performance after they revealed that, actually he's not this horrible, evil, abusive monster. But all the episodes at the beginning with him are being pulled into the dungeon and locked away. I'm not even saying his mom is a villain. Yeah. Because especially his father is a psychiatrist, as well versed by that episode where he's breaking Picard down in that whole scene. Picard didn't even realize it was his dad until the end. Yeah. Who are you?
I don't recognize you. But like, you would think that a psychiatrist would recognize symptoms of depression, suicidal ideation, and self-harm, and do everything in his power to like help that person and not let them harm members of their family.
Well,
and then he's turned into a villain.
Well, he had to go to bed, so it's.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't make.
And then the key in the frickin' wall. Like, why do they have a skeleton key?
I guess I missed it too. Where did Adam Soong's men get the key from? I kept asking. You're like, I don't care.
I have no idea.
Did they pick it up? Did they take it from somebody? I honestly didn't see how they found it.
This is 300 years in the past. Where's that fucking key anyway?
Is he gets shot and vaporized, and the key's just there, and Picard's like, okay, memory unlocked.
I love that. Memory unlocked. Oh.
Dude, that's so dumb, dude.
By the way, why is this show called Picard? Because Jean-Luc Picard doesn't do fucking anything in this series.
It's not really Picard anymore.
He doesn't do anything. It may as well be called Star Trek Raffi.
Scared Old Man.
Star Trek 7 of 9. Star Trek Watcher.
Star Trek 21st Century.
Star Trek Rios.
Star Trek No Budget.
Star Trek Borg Queen, maybe. Star Trek Girardi. Like, Picard doesn't do anything in this show except revert to a fucking memory from 90 years earlier. That's all he's done the last 3 episodes.
I miss real Picard, bro. This is not.
When he'd sit you down and break you over, like, fucking up with a Starburst cluster at the Starfleet, at the stupid Starfleet Academy graduation.
Or that time that he stood up against Cardassian interrogation.
Yeah, there are 4 lights. Mama, my boot is stuck in this broken wood for 4 hours. I can't get out.
I can't figure out how to move my leg.
Mama. Dude, okay. They have. I wanted to.
I'm actually having fun at how bad it's gotten now. The last couple episodes were just like me, really just kind of like sick of it. But at least this episode, doing it earlier in the day too, I had fun. I had fun just how bad it was.
I've wanted to say for a while though, and I watch Star Trek Next Generation now, and like I hate to say that this show is like polluted my idea of Jean-Luc Picard.
That's sad.
It sucks.
I haven't watched Star Trek TNG in long enough that maybe I can keep it separate.
Like, I want to figure it out, but now I'm like... Now I'm starting to think, like, oh god, like, is this all this...
Well, this is the Picard, you can see, because we're seeing memories from before the TNG series.
This is even real. Does it count?
No, it doesn't count. You and I talked about, when we started doing our shuffle trek, this new trek, Picard, Discovery, we're not including that in the mix.
Even close. This is garbage.
I want, dude.
So I was also thinking, I'm like, if this series had competent writing, would it be rational to watch? Like it would be a
very different show, I suspect.
My main problem with this show does not lie in the social justice stuff. It does not lie in that kind of thing.
It doesn't lie in the horrible budget use for me either.
It's
I
terrible.
could still enjoy it if it was written well.
They make it way too complicated.
Every episode has to have a MacGuffin mystery box, dude. Like this episode...
Smoke box!
Poof!
They're just like in the fucking wall.
The last one was like, we got to defend the La Sharina. And at the end of this episode, they're like, oh, there goes the La Sharina. They're like, we got to go get 2 Rene Picards, 1 to die, 1 to live.
You know what's insane?
Mystery box.
How the hell are they going to get to... I don't know, let's say...
They don't have any technology anymore.
Cape Canaveral. They're in, like, the middle of France.
They're in France.
How the fuck are they going to get across an ocean in 21st century...
Without passports and a transporter.
Without passports or identifications...
Or a transporter.
...to stop a launch. And the Queen has a warp ship and all the technology. I want to fucking...
She couldn't have, like, beamed them back over to the U.S. before she, like, took out?
Because one's got to live and one's got to die to, like, save
the Borg timeline. You got to get 2 Picards. 2 Rene. She said 2 Renes because
she's like, one Rene has to die and 1 Rene has to live.
I was gonna say because she said 2 Picards and it's obvious. Well, 1 Picard has to die.
So if Jean-Luc Picard dies in this timeline, then why make more Star Trek?
Well, why make Star Trek Picard season 3 with the returning cast?
Because they'll just come up with some bullshit timeline again and they'll like...
Dude, the season 3 is what I'm really curious about. How is it going to be any good? It's like 6 episodes long and it's going to literally just be like member berries the whole time?
It's just going to be fan service? Like... Okay, so...
Can we just have like some episodes of Star Trek, please?
That aren't nonsense? That's what the Orville's for, I'm starting to think.
Dude... We're going to have to watch Orville in June.
think during the Orville we're going to have to do some breakdowns.
Yeah, 100%. I've been looking forward to Orville.
Like, and we were talking about this before, if they do any fuckery with Worf's Klingon makeup...
The Klingon makeup, I can't wait to see what they do in Picard for Worf Season 3. I can't wait.
If I get Peter Jackson orc Worfs, I'm going to be pissed.
Dude,
because all those Peter Jackson stupid orcs in the Hobbit movie, not Lord of the Rings, those were done great. I'm talking strictly the Hobbits.
Yep.
Azog the Defiler the whole time was just like, oolah, oolah, blah. And that just reminds me of the stupid orcs, or Klingons from Discovery. Klingorcs. If they fuck with...
I think that's a Nerdrotic or Overlord DVD phrasing. The Klingorcs. It's appropriate.
True.
It's exactly what they are.
But, like, getting back on the show... So, what do you... this last episode... They have to wrap up... Okay,
there's so many threads left open.
Let me break open these threads that we have to open. So we have the Soji clone.
She's still out there.
She's still fucking out there. We still have a Soong dicking around. We still have the cryptic 2 Picards have to live and die bullshit.
With the space launch, which we thought we fixed 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, we still have Q, no powers.
Where is Q? I didn't see him this episode. They didn't pay him.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Nothing. No Q mention. They still have the Watcher nonsense. Who the fuck is the Watcher still?
We still have Elron. We got to know if Elron's going to come back or
live.
Not. Yeah, Elnor, right? Yeah, whatever.
Is Rio staying around? What's up with the Clinic family? What the fuck? There's like 7 storylines.
I feel like it almost has to be a to be continued in season 3. And originally, it was basically rumored that season 2 was filmed, and then they decided to split it into 3. And it's season.
So wait,
season 2 very well might just season 3 might be just the continuation of season 2.
If season 10, or god damn it, if episode 10.
I hope we don't get 10 seasons of Star Trek Picard.
Okay, hold on. Episode 10 shows any of the original crew members busting out the Enterprise D from or mothballs.
It's been they teased it after 3 episodes this season. They're like, everyone's coming back. You got it.
And you see like Riker at the helm of the Enterprise D coming in to save this crew. I'm done. Like, that is bullshit.
Well, I'm already done, dude. I don't even know what they're going to be able to do because they've like scattered the TNG crew to the winds. They did that earlier season. They're like, oh yeah, Riker and Troy, they're just on their planet with their like dead kids, like memories, and making pizza. And like, I think they referenced Worf is back over in the clinic. I don't know how they're going to pull everybody together. It was bad enough when they were like writing Worf into all the movies. They're like, we just happened to pick Worf up along on a trade route this week. And it's like, thank God they did, because Michael Dorn's the best thing about those movies.
Right, plus...
But it was bad enough. Now they're going to be like, well, we were just passing through the area. We ran into the whole gang.
You can't have Data back because he's dead.
Right.
What is it going to be, another Soong?
It listed him, though. It listed him in the credits.
Okay, so
it listed him in the credits for the returning cast.
So is Adam Soong going to go into the 24th century now?
Are we going to get... is it going to just be a flashback of them, of their time on the Enterprise D?
If it's a flashback,
I'm going to be pissed.
Bullshit cop-out.
It's already... Dude, I'm not going to be happy with anything.
Will Geordi have a visor?
He shouldn't.
But
he got his robo eyes in First Contact, right?
They're gonna have him. They're gonna make it
probably an expensive effect
because they've never watched that episode, so they'll have him a visor.
They didn't watch any of the movies, as evidenced by the failure to mention that Robert and his son died in the fire at the chateau.
Right.
I guess Picard rebuilt it, including the like tragic like sight of his mom's like hanging after it like burned his like brother and nephew to death.
That we never heard of.
He was like, you know what? Put it back exactly the way it was.
Because we've never heard of... You think if Picard's mom had done that...
We've seen Picard in the room that his mom killed himself in. We know that between the time that he hung out with her in that room as a child and the time she killed himself and the time he's standing in it, that the chateau burned down and killed the other family members. And yet, he's still like, rebuild it, please. Exactly like it was.
I don't know, maybe he just has like a mental block.
They just obviously don't understand mental trauma or mental illness or any kind of reality.
And I've noticed, I found that, we talked about that. That is straight offensive.
Yeah, you were the one who brought it. It is offensive. Their portrayal of mental illness this episode is atrocious.
Plus, not only
atrocious,
but like this season when they were like, oh, people with depression, there's just like no way out.
That's gonna be. I think the line that should encapsulate the entire series is the line where they're like, oh, she's depressed, and he's like, oh man, she's lucky to have been alive. She had depression.
It's a death sentence.
We know that. Apparently, in the 24th century, they're not nearly as capable of treating depression as we are in the 21st century. Granted,
it is a lifelong struggle, but there are ways to get through it, and it is serious. But the way they portray it as a death sentence is
it's
offensive.
It's offensive, dude.
I'm sorry.
It's outrageous.
It pisses me off.
Inconsiderate. It's thoughtless. It's heartless. Dude, whatever, man.
Yeah.
This show's stupid.
It's out of touch. It does not even like
stupid.
Pull on source material. I think in this episode
Star Trek.
We've broken down several instances in the Star Trek canon and universe over 750 episodes and 13 movies. Sorry, 10 movies. I don't consider Abrams shit anymore. That have contradicted every stupid ass plot point in this entire fucking series.
The series is, dude. It doesn't even
nonsense.
Make sense. You asked, what would the show look like if it had competent writing, or if they had brought back veteran writers with experience? It wouldn't be anywhere close to this.
I would take 1,000 Star Trek 5s, which is arguably the worst Star Trek movie of all time.
It is the worst Star Trek movie of all time.
Over this nonsense.
Yeah.
Because at least it kind of fit into the story fucking line at a certain point. This is like
made, at least it was made with care and passion and the mentality of other Star Treks and with the crew and everything else, you know. This is just, I don't know, man. I hate the Doctor Who tentacles. I hate that we've had these, she has these tubes, which it's like, those should be super assimilators. They should stab somebody and they should be like, oh, I'm a Borg. I mean, that happens with the little nanites. She impales them. She should like fill them with nanites in a second with those things. You know what I mean?
Dead.
And then a second later, though, and we know she can, so because she like webs her with venom webbing. It's not even nanotubules or.
Oh, let me just like touch your face and like all the things.
Right? Why didn't she do that to Seven? Why did she have to use venom nano webbing? All of the people that they killed in the past, those people don't have any consequences on the future at all.
The Borg Queen?
They're like running around destroying the shit out of this timeline's past. There's no way that they can be successful.
The dude the Borg Queen just like had her way, or Girardi had her way with, and just like left in an alley.
Thanks, that didn't do it for me. Snap, broke his neck.
Like, what does he do? What if like his relatives like...
I told you I thought it was O'Brien's great.
That would just be O'Brien's luck, right?
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
It's tragic.
I'm trying to think if there's anything specific we haven't really covered. Girardi gets the classic Borg Queen body.
Yeah.
You said you liked her better in her red dress and combat boots.
Well. I mean, I guess, right? Running around in her combat boots, like, dude, Power Woman.
She starts bringing... We see the soldiers that she recruits last episode, and then this episode they just start beaming, like, hundreds of them in.
I want to say something...
And then at the end, they're like, oh, there's 9, 8. And it's like, didn't I just see you, like, beam, like, 30 people in? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Plus, okay, as a person with weapons, I'm going to say, why the hell do you... If you're in a tactical situation like that, and you don't want to be seen in a dark room in a dark house, why the hell do you have a green laser that just points out everything?
Because they were trying to make it like the Borg.
Yeah. You know what kind of optics they had on their rifles? They had red or green laser dot rifles, which require... Yeah. You don't need a fucking laser beam to show where your freaking target is. Come on.
They wanted that effect, you know.
Yeah, except they didn't even look like Borg.
One of the most outrageous things I've ever seen on a Star Trek episode ever is Rafi sitting there trying to stab someone who is assimilated against his will in the past, who could very well be an important progenitor to someone in the future, slowly stab him down, and then Seven just casually comes up and is like, yeah, let's do this together, baby. And like they fucking murder a dude together, dude. Right. That's fucked up. That is not something I ever expected to see from my heroes in Star Trek, bro. That was pretty gnarly.
It's just absolute violence.
Dude, and that was even like taking it above a level of like violence. That was just like, it's disturbing. Like that's their romantic hobby that they do together.
Murder.
Like, brings them back together. It's like, oh, hey, thanks for helping me murder this guy.
And they'll probably talk about it later because they're so traumatized. Not like 7 of 9's a Borg again, like whatever.
If I was watching this in private, I would be suffering. I'm glad I have somebody to complain about with it, man, because this is just outrageous. And like I could complain about it to anybody else, but they, not watching actual classic Star Trek, it doesn't. They're just gonna look at me like they don't give a shit. So I'm glad that you're here to commiserate with this nonsense.
Likewise, because I mean, it's just this new format of Star Trek has reached a point where it's pointless.
Pointless. This is pointless.
Who is watching this? Like, besides people that hate it.
How is it entertaining? How is this inspiring? How is this thought-provoking?
How does this get younger fans and fans who have never watched Star Trek before into older Star Trek?
I don't think this gets anybody that's not already into Star Trek. This
is supposed to be...
I was going to say, have you seen the Angry Joe show? Have you ever watched that? They've been doing Angry Joe's a bit of, whatever. Take him or leave him, But I'll say this. They've been watching the Picard and doing episode reviews. 2 of them are longtime Trek fans and 1 of them isn't. And it's fun to watch them because they're like, what do you think of this? Like, he's like, the characters are so poorly written. They're all horrible people. I can't stand any of them.
Exactly.
And so, dude, they're not writing it for... I don't know what they're making this for, man. I don't know. Whatever. I mean,
if your goal is to get everyone into getting more views of all your classic Star Trek shows on your Paramount Plus app, you are doing a horrible job.
You're crushing interest in the series, totally.
Because now people, like new Trek fans, or people that actually are sane and can understand the complexities of a plot, are going to watch this and be like, oh, is this what the other 700...
I'll go watch some old Star Trek, and they put one in there. Oh, this is so boring, and it makes me think. It makes my brain hurt with thoughts.
Yeah, screw that. Like, you're just destroying new Star Trek fans from loving a franchise that has been around.
They just won't even have an opportunity to do it, because they'll go watch the old stuff, and they'll just be like, my brain doesn't work.
Like, Star Trek has been around now for, get this, since 1967.
65 years, Tom. 60 years. 60...
So 1967 and 1920...
55.
God.
55.
2022. We live in 2022. Fuck. 1967 to 2022.
55 years, yeah.
And so you're going to discount 55 years of awesome content.
Of success, of profit,
You're going to throw it all away for Discovery, Picard.
For the
message. I'm guaranteeing
the message.
Strange New Worlds is going to suck.
I don't know. I heard that Captain Kirk might make some fundamental changes to his basic character.
They made fundamental changes to every basic character.
I'm not going to say anything about it until I see the episode.
7 of 9 is fundamentally different. Picard is like, what's the point? If you watch Picard from Next Gen, he's like totally different.
I don't feel like I'm watching Picard. I don't feel like I'm watching 7 of 9. I don't feel like I'm watching any of the characters from the old Star Trek series on screen. I don't feel like any of this series has been Star Trek in any way, shape, or form. The time that we spent on any ship is the La Sirena, which I've said I don't really like because it's not a Federation ship. It's some dinky little transport ship, and I don't care.
Plus, the only Federation ships we get now are either Riker's clone fucking army, clone navy, or you get all the ships like from a wide shot that have just been exploded in 5 seconds.
I did like the cure at the first episode. That was...
and it still exploded!
That gave me false hope.
And it blew up.
Well, it took an EMP blast.
Okay, so it just floated into nothingness.
It's floatsome. It's waiting for the new Happy Borg Queen Collective to come pick them up and add their technological distinctiveness and their emotional fragility to their own.
We should end it there.
Right there.
Emotional fragility to our own.
We will add your emotional fragility to our own.
I think that is a perfect ending for the new Borg Collective.
All right.
Well, Picard season...
We're almost
2,
done. We're almost
10.
done. We've
See
made
you
it.
next week. Please fucking end this shit mercifully.
Get a mug if you like. They're cool.
Get a mug, fill it with tea, fill it with whiskey, fill it with beer to watch the last episode of Picard.
Captain MB, who is one of our subscribers, did win the April subscriber or the March subscriber giveaway.
Is he ever going to pick up his stuff?
Yeah, he's got to reach out on akaBoG.com. I'm going to give him an extra month. I want him to get his prize.
I feel like you've given him like a lot of time.
I actually cut the length back a month ago, so I'm going to give it just a little bit longer. I'm gonna put out an episode today.
Fair enough.
An unboxing to promote that. You put out an awesome episode for the
Orlog.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla Orlog game, which looks really cool.
Out.
We should play that.
Definitely.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.